Live from Lane Gymnasium, Lane Tech boys basketball is on the air. The Lane Tech champions look to break a 3-game skid as they welcome their toughest test yet this 2022 season into Lane Gymnasium. It's the St. Ignatius Wolfpack, the 9th-ranked team in the Chicagoland area, taking on the Lane Tech champions here at the 2022 holiday game from Lane Gymnasium. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Alex Burstein as we welcome you above midcourt here at Lane Tech. Should be a fun one tonight. Crowd still filing in for what should be a fun matchup between Lane Tech and the St. Ignatius Wolfpack. It is ugly sweater night at Lane Gymnasium, always one of the best attended games of the year, and also one of the best teams in the state coming to Lane Tech tonight. St. Ignatius, they had a very good 2021-2022 campaign, and this year they're even better, led by their two Division I seniors, Richard Barron as well as Jackson Kotecki. Those two incredible, but a big supporting cast for them. This is a very talented, a very stacked, a very deep St. Ignatius team, and it's going to take a big effort out of Lane Tech and their two stars, Dalton Scanterbury and Shahid Solibo, here on a chilly Tuesday night in Roscoe Village to get past this St. Ignatius Wolfpack team. As we take you down to the court, just about 3 minutes to go until we get rolling here at Lane Gymnasium. So with that, we'll take you through your starting lineups tonight. First, for the visiting St. Ignatius Wolfpack, who are off to a 9-1 start to the season. They have been so impressive early on this year, and here is how they will line up in tonight's matchup. John Kemp, number 3, the 6-foot senior two-sport athlete who will actually play football next year in college for Yale University. He gets to start tonight for the Wolfpack. Phoenix Gill, the son of former basketball star Kendall Gill, gets to start. The 6'3 sophomore has been off to an excellent start to the season. He's been very impressive as of late for the Wolfpack, and he gets a start here tonight. As apologies, folks, just wanted to reconnect our camera real quick to make sure everything is working for the rest of the broadcast. So Gill gets to start tonight for the Wolfpack. Alongside him, the two stars for this team, we've already talked about them, Richard Barron and Jackson Kotecki, a pair of seniors, 6'6 for Barron, 6'9 for Kotecki, the tallest opponent for Lane Tech yet this season. They are headed off to George Mason and Miami, Ohio, respectively, next season. But first, they have some stuff to prove. A third-place finish in Class 3A last year. They're hoping for a state title this time around, and they will look to get win number 10 here tonight for the Wolfpack. And finally, rounding out the lineup for the Wolfpack, one of the surprise stars this year for St. Ignatius, Reggie Ray, the 6'2 junior, a very good shooter, has run the point this season for the Wolfpack. He gets a start and averaging over 12 a game. He's a big part of this St. Ignatius squad. As for Lane Tech, a slightly different looking starting lineup here tonight after they were missing two of their starters against West Aurora on Saturday. They will start Shahid Solibo in at the shooting guard position. The 6'4 junior gets a start tonight. Jack Tour returns to the starting lineup after missing a game due to two technicals he received last week. He gets a start. The 6'3 senior. Parker Williams, the 6'2 junior, stays in the starting lineup alongside sophomore Dalton Scanterbury, who returns to the team after missing Saturday's game with illness. And the addition, Jackson Labcon, with his second start of the season. The 6'2 junior playing against his old team. He's a St. Ignatius transfer, and he will look to put up big numbers against his former teammates here tonight at Lane Gymnasium. Just about 30 seconds to go until national anthem here at Lane Tech, and then it will be just about time for tip-off here at Lane Tech. Lane enters tonight's matchup on a 3-game skid. They've fallen recently to Farragut, to Lamont, and to West Aurora. 3 teams that have impressed early on this year, especially in Lamont and West Aurora, but they are desperately trying to get back to 500 here tonight. Meanwhile, for St. Ignatius, they have cruised through their first 10 games this season. Their only loss coming to Gonzaga, an out-of-state DC team, which is very, very good at sports. Caleb Williams, for any of you college football fans who went there, the recent Heisman winner. It's a very, very good school. They fell in that one, but they are 9-0 against in-state opponents this season, and they're hoping to make that 10-0 here tonight. As the buzzer rings, we're going to turn it to the Lane Tech band for the national anthem, and then we will be ready for first tip here from Lane Gymnasium on a chilly Tuesday night in Roscoe Village. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Lane Tech boys basketball here on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. Another excellent rendition of the Star Spangled Banner from the Lane Tech Pep Band. And with that, it is time for basketball here from Lane Gymnasium. They're going to go over the starting lineups on the court, so we'll run through those once again. First for the visiting St. Ignatius Wolfpack, it'll be John Kemp, Phoenix Gill, Richard Barron, Jackson Kotecki, and Reggie Ray, your five on the court to start things off tonight. For the Wolfpack, they are coached by Matt Monroe in his 7th season atop of this St. Ignatius Wolfpack team. As for Lane Tech, their starting five tonight looking a little different. It'll be Shahid Salibo, Jack Soar, Parker Williams, Dalton Scantlebury, and Jackson Labcon competing against his old team here as the lineup starts to get announced for Lane Tech on the court. Lane is coached by Nick Lagalbo in his 15th season atop of this Lane Tech program. 8 minutes on the clock, 32 minutes of game to be played here as Lane Tech looks for a big upset here tonight against the 9th-ranked St. Ignatius Wolfpack squad. This St. Ignatius team has been getting a lot of love in the rankings recently. They started the season off number 10 in the Sun-Times poll, up to number 9 in the 3A poll. They're top 10. In pretty much any Chicagoland poll you find, they're going to be top 10. This is a St. Ignatius team that has a lot of talent, a lot of size, a lot of good guards, all the components you need for a really good basketball squad, and they've put it together beautifully to start off the year. They have some big wins. They beat Leo. They beat Riverside Brookfield. They're coming off an 8-point win against Fenwick, so they're looking to keep that going here tonight. Lane Tech, meanwhile, we've talked about it a couple times already tonight, 3-game skid for them. They've been competitive in all of those games, but they've recently fallen to Lamont, Farragut, and West Aurora in 3 games in a row. So they will look to switch that up here tonight against a very strong St. Ignatius Wolfpack squad. As in this circle to start things off here tonight, it'll be Dalton Scantlebury as well as Jackson Kotecki. Kotecki coming in at 6'9", the tallest player Lane Tech has faced off against yet this season. Scantlebury at 6'6" will be a little disadvantage, but we'll see if he can have an upset tip-off win here to start off the game as referee puts the ball in the air, and it's won by Ignatius, and we're underway here at the 2022 holiday game from Lane Gymnasium. St. Ignatius will take the ball to start things off. They're in their maroon and gold uniforms, going from right to left across your screen. Lane Tech in their home whites, they'll be going from left to right once they get possession here, as they give it to their star Richard Barron here to start off the evening. He passes it over to Reggie Ray. We talked about Ray a little bit earlier in the broadcast. He's been a very pleasant surprise for this St. Ignatius team this season. One of the team's leading scorers, as a nice steal here. Salibo in transition gets tripped up and still finishes with the layup. No foul called there, but Salibo will finish with the 2, and Lane Tech takes the early lead here. One of the keys tonight for Lane Tech is going to be quick starts and just keeping a lead. This is something they've struggled to do, get off to good starts in games. When they've fallen behind early, it's most of the time stayed like that the entire 32 minutes. So this is a good sign. Lane Tech able to get on the scoreboard early as Kotecki pulls for 3 off the backboard. Rebound here by Ray, who goes up for 2, misses it, but the putback from Kotecki is good. And the Wolfpack will tie it up here early. As for St. Ignatius, their key, according to head coach Matt Monroe, is going to be stopping Scantlebury and Salibo, Lane Tech's 2 leading scorers, but not forgetting about the other guys on the court. Lane Tech with some other capable scorers. He wants to focus on stopping those 2 main scorers, but make sure his team also has an eye on the rest of this Lane Tech squad. As the ball pushed out of bounds here by Phoenix Gill, but possession will stay with the champions here with 6:28 to go in the first quarter of play. Jackson Labcon will inbound it. Labcon starting tonight in replacement of Lorenzo Aquino, as Salibo fakes the 3, now is going to drive in. 3 ball by Williams, not good, and the rebound brought down by Barron. Quick-paced action here early on, as down low, an excellent 2 there from Jackson Kotecki, who gets his second basket of the night. He has all 4 so far for the Wolfpack. Had a good end to last season, but this summer in AAU, he really exploded. Now committed to play at Miami of Ohio next year. Kotecki, a very good player, one of the best in the Chicagoland area, and he has some early scoring here for the Wolfpack. Nice move here by Kemp, who puts it in the corner. Kotecki looking for a 3rd shot made on the night. This one off the mark, though, and Jack Soar will take things up the court. 5:40 to go here in quarter number 1 of play. Fast-paced action here early on between the champions and the Wolfpack here, as fans still filing into the door, and the ball is going to go off of Lane Tech here, and a fired-up Wolfpack bench will get the ball back for their team, as first timeout is going to be called by the champions. Head coach Nick Wagalbo calls a 30-second timeout with 5:32 to go in the first quarter here. So we saw Lane Tech take that early lead. They had the 2-0 lead thanks to a nice layup from Jahid Salibo. But since then, 2 quick baskets from Jackson Kotecki has given the lead back to the Wolfpack here. And it's going to be interesting to see if this is going to be Ignatius pulling away early or if it's going to be a back-and-forth game. Most people expecting this game to be in favor of St. Ignatius. They're the higher-ranked team. They've had a very impressive start to the season, but if Lane Tech can keep it close early, that's going to be one of the keys for them here on this Tuesday night. This is just the second to last game Lane Tech will be playing in the 2022 part of this season. They are not playing in a holiday tournament. Meanwhile, Ignatius will be headed up to York next week to take place in the Jack Tosh tournament. It's a pretty loaded field. Rolling Meadows is in that one. They're one of the favorites in the tournament. St. Pat's, Lions, Lamont, GBS. So that's going to be a fun tournament next week, and we'll see if Ignatius can pull away with a possible victory. As we mentioned, they have yet to lose to an in-state opponent yet this 2022 season. As they get to Kotecki, back to Kemp. Nice quick ball movement here from Ignatius. Barron will work things inside and pass it out to Kotecki. The big man's been playing from the outside a lot here tonight. And now Ignatius will reset the basketball. One of the things about this Ignatius team, they're built like a college or an NBA roster. They have the perfect mix of forwards, guards, combo players, as Barron's first 3 of the night off the mark. But they just have such a diverse roster that really helps them so far this season. As Salibo gets it to a cutting Labcon, who can't finish with the 2. Scantlebury reaches in for the jump ball, and Lane Tech will get possession back. Labcon coming off a 10-point performance against West Aurora on Saturday. That is a season high for him, a varsity career high. He was playing on the JV team for St. Ignatius last year. As Jack Soar gets ready for an inbound and gives it out to Scantlebury. Second shot of the night from Labcon off the mark, and with 4.5 left to go, Ignatius will take it up. Still the lead just at 2 for the Wolfpack here, as tripping to the ground. A foul's going to be called here against Jackson Labcon, and heading to, we'll see if it's called on the ground or at the line. They will say it was on the ground, so heading to inbound it is going to be, let's see, so far no one. Now they're going to put Kemp there to inbound things. Instead, it will be Barron. No substitutes yet into the game for either one of these squads. They get the quick ball out to Ray. Lane Tech's done a good job of shutting Ray down early on. 4.5 to play in the first quarter. They instead send Kemp to drive. He puts it out to Ray, and he'll back things off. Early on, this Ignatius team was kind of rushing their possession. Since then, they've slowed things down as an excellent left-handed finish there from Barron moves the lead to 4 points, the largest it's been tonight for either team. And an early 6-2 lead here for St. Ignatius. Steal forced here, and finishing with the jam is number 13, Phoenix Gill. Not the biggest player on the court, but he knows how to get up there, and he slams it in for the most electrifying basket of the night. Mostly a Lane Tech crowd here, so the fans were pretty quiet after that one, but some nice momentum here in the direction of the Wolfpack, who take an 8-2 lead with 3:47 to go in the first quarter, as Lorenzo Aquino will check into the game here for Jackson Labcon. So that will be the first substitution of the night here, and it goes for Lane Tech. Lane recently been going with a 7 to 9 man rotation. They've been getting about 2/3 of their guys into most games. We'll see if that continues here tonight, as Lorenzo Aquino will run the point after coming off the bench. This is the first game this season he has not started, but he still comes in about halfway through this first quarter. Lane has not scored since the first minute of play. Williams trying to drive in, goes up for the awkward 2. Kotecki grabs that one out of the air. Didn't even have to jump much for that one. His 6'9 frame was able to reach up and get it, and Ignatius will get possession back. Nice ball movement. They get it to Kemp in the corner, and now they'll reset things through Barron. Barron, one of the top players on the squad last year. This year, one of the true leaders, as Aquino sees that one, reads it perfectly, and picks it off here. Now Salibo trying for his second basket of the night. They feed Scantlebury down low, who gets the 2 to go, and Lane Tech finally breaks that 3+ minute scoring drought to pull within 4 of the Wolfpack here with 2:50 to go in quarter number 1 of action. Reggie Ray driving up the middle, goes up for 2 and gets the easy floater to drop. And those are the type of shots that Lane Tech is really going to have to limit if they want to stay with Ignatius early. If Ignatius is making the contested shots, there's not much you can do about that. But if Lane can limit those open looks, that will be good for them, as Salibo pulls for the long 2 off the rim, straight into the hands of Kemp. He tries to go coast to coast. He'll put up a shot. A crazy attempt at a layup there. Goes off the front of the rim, but they will say there was contact there. And the Wolfpack will get the free throws here. So they look to expand the lead past 6 points, get to a 4-possession game for the first time here tonight. Fans still filing into the gymnasium for what should be a fun one here tonight, as first shot is made here by Kemp. We mentioned this earlier in the broadcast. This is not even Kemp's main sport. He's a football player, a key football player for this Ignatius squad that was a quarterfinalist in the state playoffs this year, and he'll actually be playing next year at Yale University. So a very good academic player, a very good football player, and he's showing early on a player to watch for in tonight's matchup, as well as Kenny Rosario is going to check into the game here for Jack Soar. So it'll be Rosario, Salibo, Scantlebury, Aquino, and Williams, your 5 on the court. 2:15 to go here, a 7-point lead for the Wolfpack. Salibo gets to work on the left-hand side, draws the foul on Richard Barron, and Lane Tech will have the chance to inbound it here. Second time this calendar year these two teams are facing off. They Lane headed to Ignatius in February. It was a somewhat close game, but in the end, it ended up being a 12-point victory for Ignatius, 63-51 as they inbound things to Salibo here. That game in February was the first time those two teams have met in 15 years as Shahid Salibo hits the three. He has 5 of Lane Tech's 7 points, and the champions are back within 4 here. A big shot there from Shahid Salibo. On Saturday, we really saw him kind of have to carry the team on his back without the likes of Dalton Scantlebury on the court. Tonight, he has his number 2 player, his duo, Scantlebury back, as this one goes off the back of the backboard. And with that, it means Salibo's going to still take his shots, but we've also seen him dish out an assist here early on. Salibo, I'm sure, very glad to have Scantlebury back on the court. As Salibo thinks about the three, it's going to be very interesting to see how many he can score with Barron guarding him. As a nice behind the back block there from Barron. He goes in transition and finishes with the Euro step from the left side. Second time here tonight we have seen Barron finish with a left-handed layup, and he gets the lead back up to 6. See our first sub into the game for Ignatius here momentarily, just over a minute to play. Williams thinks about the 2, instead goes for the floater and the air ball there from the junior for Lane Tech, and the Wolfpack will push it in transition. Quick 2, and this time it will fall. A floater for Reggie Ray, and Ignatius has cooled down the Lane Tech momentum and taken an 8-point lead as we reach the 50-second mark to go. Aquino straight to the basket, second straight block here for the Wolfpack. That was Ray on the rejection. Kemp for a quick 2, can't get to go. And the back and forth track meet here between Ignatius and Lane Tech to end the first quarter. 30 seconds left to go. Williams to Aquino in the corner. No contact on the ball, and a beautiful 3 there from Lorenzo Aquino. Lane Tech gets some much needed points, and the Wolfpack looks like they will hold for one final shot here to bring out the first quarter of play to a close. 15 seconds. They'll get it back to Ray at the top of the logo here at Lane Gymnasium. They'll put it into the hands of Gill. Back to Ray. He was open, decides not to take the shot. 3 seconds left. They put it to Barron. He gets a shot off and misses it. And that will bring us to the end of one quarter of play. 15-10. St. Ignatius leads Lane Tech here. A fun 8 minutes of play. We'll see what Lane Tech can do as we head to the second quarter. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Lane Tech Boys Basketball here on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. To quarter number 2, we head here at Lane Gymnasium, a 5-point lead for the Wolfpack after 5 minutes played here at Lane Tech. A late couple of shots from the champions keep them in this. A 3 by Lorenzo Aquino cut it from an 8-point game to a 5-point game, and that's where things stand as we enter quarter number 2 of play. Into the game for the Wolfpack, Sam Horenkamp with the ball right now. He gives it to Ray. Ray with his first 3-point attempt of the night, and he drains it. 3-point shots have been a big part of this game early on, and a nice shot there by Reggie Ray, who's up to 7 points here early on to give his team back a 3-possession lead. Aquino gives it to Scantlebury. That one off the hands of a defender's to Williams. No subs to start off this second quarter for the champions. They're going to stay with Williams, Salibo, Scantlebury, Aquino, and Rosario as Scantlebury hits the and one in the paint. An excellent post move there from Dalton Scantlebury. and he'll try to complete the three-point play here. Did not play on Saturday. Lane Tech was really missing him. They really missed that inside paint play that Scantlebury has given to Lane Tech all season long. But now with him back in the lineup, that's going to be key for the Champions as he misses the free throw and will stick with a 6-point lead here. Apologies, folks. Our camera just went out for a quick second. We'll try to get that back up and running with 7:06 to go here in quarter number 2 of play. As driving left-hand side, putting up the basket. An excellent finish there from Phoenix Gill, who gets on the scoreboard for the second time tonight. And it seems like whenever Lane Tech finds some points, there is a quick response from the Wolfpack. And he's going to have to find a way to string together some consecutive scores if they want to stay in this one. So Levo trying to get around Barron, and a jump ball is going to be called. Jack Soar will check into the game for Kenny Rosario after a short stint on the court for the junior. Talking with head coach Matt Monroe for the Wolfpack before this game, one of the keys for St. Ignatius was going to be shutting down the top scorers for this Lane Tech squad, that being Shahid Solibo as well as Dalton Scantlebury. They have a combined 9 points, but they definitely could have done more damage. St. Ignatius has done a good job stopping them early on. Gill trying for back-to-back baskets. He gets it to go. Just some excellent speed there from the sophomore. He's been one of the breakout stars of this 2022 season so far. He started off the week in the first week of the season, had 2 18-point games. A lot of media, a lot of articles were projecting him to be one of the breakout stars of this season. He has lived up to the hype as Parker Williams will respond with a quick 2. And Lane Tech keeps it at an 8-point game here with 6 minutes to play in quarter number 2 here from Lane Gymnasium. Sam Horenkamp, who's played with some of these Lane Tech guys, playing with the Lakeview Lakers a couple of years ago, passes it off to Phoenix Gill. And Gill is kind of taking control of this game as nice 2 there on the dish to number 33, Sam Klavadetcher, who gets his first basket of this game. And I think the most impressive part so far for the Wolfpack, this has just been a very diverse scoring effort. They've had a lot of guys score. All 5 guys on the court currently have scored as Solibo pulls for 3 and gets it to go. Seems like whenever Lane gets one of those, it gives them some momentum. We'll see what they can do with it as Solibo now up to 8 points on the young game. Jackson Labcon will check in momentarily for the Champions. Barron tries for a quick response. That one goes off the top of the backboard, and the Champions will get possession back as Labcon checks into the game for Williams, and Kodecki and Kemp will check back into the game here for the Wolfpack. Richard Barron off the court right now for St. Ignatius, and I imagine Solibo might want to do some scoring here as he has his tougher defensive assignment off the court right now, as this one goes off the hands of Gill, and Lane Tech will keep possession. 4:52 to go here in the first half. An excellent crowd here on this Tuesday night, as Dylan Pepper, who checked in momentarily ago for the Champions, and Shahid Solibo has hit another 3. He is up to 11 points here, not even halfway through the second quarter, and it's a 4-point game once again. For a second there, it looked like St. Ignatius was going to pull away, but 2 straight 3-pointers from Lane Tech star has gotten this one close again. Gill tries for a response 3, can't get to go. Labcon grabs the rebound. Lane Tech can cut it to a 1-possession game here with 4:20 to go. Dalton Scantlebury will check in momentarily. Solibo thought about another 3. He missed it, but finishes with the jam. Timeout called by Matt Monroe, and Shahid Solibo is on an 8-0 run all by himself. 24-22, 4:12 to go. St. Ignatius calls their first timeout of the night. And just after it looked like things might be starting to go bleak for St. Ignatius, Shahid Solibo decides to take things into his own hands. 13 points already tonight. He's had a quiet couple of games by his standards. He's coming off a performance against West Aurora that included 11 points, so he's already beat that. He had 5 against Farragut, 16 against Lamont, so he is way ahead of his recent pace. And an excellent job here by Shahid Salibo. He's been averaging 13.9 points per game this season, and he's almost reached that total here early on in the game. 4:12 to go in the first half, as we're going to see Justin Scott check into the game for the Wolfpack, who's probably one of the most physically impressive players you will see all season long if you're following Lane Tech basketball. Scott is the number 3 junior in the nation for football, has offers from all the football blue bloods. Ohio State, Alabama. He's also a very electric basketball player, as Barron kind to the basket loses it, but it goes straight into the hands of Kemp. So 2 Division I football players on the court right now for the Wolfpack in the form of Kemp as well as Scott. As Jack Soros, some tight defense on Barron. Lane Tech looking to get the ball back with a chance to tie it or take the lead, as a free throw length shot missed here at Salibo in transition. Takes it by himself. Euro step. Can't finish with the 2. He wanted a foul. Referees will not give it to him. As most of the starting 5 on the court right now for the champions. Kotecki takes himself, gets his own rebound, misses 2 shots, and Jack Soar will bring down one of his first rebounds of the night. And Lane Tech with another chance to tie things up here. Lorenzo Aquino hands it off to Jackson Labcon. Labcon back to Aquino. Aquino has 1 3 on the night. They give it down low to Scantlebury, and a foul called on Kotecki. It's very interesting to see Scantlebury playing a pretty similar role to what we usually see him play here tonight. I kind of expected Lane to try more of him from the outside. They've kept him in the paint. Most games he is the tallest player on the court. Tonight he has 3. He's 3 inches shorter than Jackson Kotecki, his defensive matchup, but he's been playing well here as they hand it off to Scantlebury. Labcon out to Jack Soar for the lead. Air ball there from the senior captain, and it will be Reggie Ray pushing in transition. Dalton Scantlebury gets his first block of the night, and Lane Tech will get it back. So we've reached a bit of a stalemate here at 24-22 Ignatius. And Lane looks like they're finally going to slow things down here with 2:40. Salibo in transition, almost finished with a monster dunk there. Salibo once again trying to get a foul. Instead, it will be Barron going for the coast-to-coast 2. I think Lane Tech Gymnasium would have absolutely exploded there had Salibo had finished the dunk. Instead, the Wolfpack will go back up by 4. 2:20 to go. Salibo has not gotten the benefit of the doubt on a couple of almost foul calls here tonight, as Jack Soar opened. Would have had an NBA range 3 there, but decides not to take it, and instead Salibo will take it himself. Gives it to Scantlebury, who finishes with the layup. Excellent ball movement there from Shahid Salibo to Dalton Scantlebury, and under 2 to play in the first half. It's just a 2-point game here. Lane Tech sticking in this one early with the 9th-ranked St. Ignatius Wolfpack from Lane Gymnasium. Kotecki pulls for 2, misses it. That one was off the backboard, not even hit the rim. We've seen some struggle shooting from Kotecki after he scored the first 4 points of the night for the Wolfpack. And the champions will take it up the court, looking to tie it. Salibo all by himself, and we have a tie ball game here with 80 seconds to play in the first half. 26 all. Richard Barron is slowly going to take it up the court. I think he was going to talk to his head coach, maybe call for a timeout, decides not to. He looks frustrated as he calls for his teammate Kemp to move over. Instead, they find an open Ray across the court. Inside, they give it to Kotecki. Ray for the wide open 3, and he makes them pay. Shahid Salibo was paying a little too much attention to the middle of the court, and they leave the junior open. He's up to 10 points on the night, the leading scorer for the Wolfpack, second leading scorer for either team, behind Salibo, who has 15, 44 seconds and counting to go, and looks like Lane Tech may hold for one final shot. We usually do not see Lane Tech do this, hold for more than 30 seconds on a possession. However, in a tight game like this against an opponent like Ignatius, Lane does not want to give Ignatius one final shot here. Some fans waiting at the door, waiting to cross into the seating section. I'm not sure there's many seats left here at Lane Tech as Lapcon starts working with 15 seconds. They give it inside to Scantlebury. Solivo thinks about the three, instead drives in, gets past two defenders, finishes with the two. 29-28, one final chance for the Wolfpack. They say this one goes off the defender Scantlebury, and Barron will inbound things as they send Phoenix Gill into the game for Scott. So one more shooter here for the Wolfpack. 3.7 seconds left in the half. They give it to Ray, a long floater. He misses a shot, and that will bring us to the end of one half of play. And what a half of basketball from the Lane Tech champions. They trail by just one against the number 9th ranked St. Ignatius Wolfpack. Here it's 29-28 at the half, and a large part of that is coming from Shahid Solivo. He has 17 of the 28 points for the champions. He's been quiet the last couple of games for Lane Tech. Still was the leading one of the leading scorers against West Aurora, but he has just not been playing as strong as we've seen him. He was due for a wake-up game, and he is doing that tonight against a big-time opponent as the champions head into the locker room trailing by just one here against St. Ignatius. We're going to have a couple of halftime performances, so we'll send you down to the court for that and be back in just a couple of minutes to recap the first half of action and get you ready for the final 16 minutes. Your halftime score from Lane Gymnasium: St. Ignatius Wolfpack 29, Lane Tech champions 28. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Lane Tech boys basketball here on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. halftime from Lane Gymnasium. It's a 29-28 lead for the St. Ignatius Wolfpack over the Lane Tech champions. As we welcome you up mid-court here at Lane Gymnasium. Thanks for joining us, Alex Bursting. Glad to have you along for what has been a fun first 16 minutes of action here from Lane Gymnasium. Probably 4 of the 6 future Division I players have hit the court here tonight, but none of them have shined brighter than Shahid Solibo. 15 points for the Lane Tech junior to will his team back into this one. They trail by just 1 to the 9th-ranked St. Ignatius Wolfpack here as we enter half number 2 of play. Just under 4 minutes to go. Hope you enjoyed the halftime performances from the Lane Tech cheerleaders and Lane Tech dance teams. But now it's back to the main show. Lane Tech boys basketball returning here in just a couple of minutes. There was a couple of other scores, but it was mainly Solibo, a couple from Dalton Scantlebury to keep Lane Tech in this one. For the Wolfpack, a couple of big scores, none more than Reggie Ray. He had 10. He's been the breakout junior this year for the Wolfpack. He leads them, their only double-digit score. 6 of those, 6 additional points have come from Richard Barron, 6 from Phoenix Gill, and 4 from number 24, Jackson Kotecki. Those are your leading scores for the Wolfpack. So it's mainly been Ray for the Wolfpack, and it's mainly been Solibo for the champions. And we have a tight one here at halftime of the 2022 holiday game from Lane Gymnasium as we take you down to the court here. As we mentioned, 29-28 is your halftime score. A very fun start to this one, and should get even more fun as we enter the third and fourth quarter of play. Lane Tech is looking to get above the 500, get back to the 500 mark. They've dropped 3 straight games to Farragut, to Lamont, and to West Aurora, but they are looking like a brand new team here tonight as they look to close out their second to last matchup of this 2022-2023 campaign, of this 2022 part of the campaign with a win. I imagine it's going to be the same starting 5 to hit the court here for the champions as they get ready to warm up here with just about 2 minutes to go until we get ready for second half action. We'll take you around the conference here tonight for the Chicago Public Red Northwest. Nothing for Orr. Young is off until Friday. Westinghouse is off. North Lawndale is off. Perspectives is off, and then Clark and Lincoln Park are off. So currently only 2 other games going on. Farragut was traveling to Kenwood for a tough matchup here tonight between 2 public league traditional powerhouses, and then ITW Spear heading to Prosser. That's the one set for a 7 p.m. tip-off. So just 3 games in the conference here tonight. Here's what your standings look like here as we near the end of the first half of this season. Young leads the conference 2-0. They're 8-4 overall. Westinghouse second, a 4-1 conference record for them. They've been very, very impressive early on. North Lawndale, Farragut, and Perspectives MSA are your 3rd, 4th, and 5th place teams, or coming in at number 6. Lane Tech has sunk all the way to number 7 in the standings right now. And then rounding out the bottom of the conference, Clark, Lincoln Park, and Prosser. They are 0-2, 1-3, and 1-3 respectively in conference play. Wolfpack used almost that entire time in the locker room to talk things over. They did not take any warm-up shots here with just 40 seconds remaining here in the halftime break. So it's going to be Lane Tech slightly more warmed up, but obviously you can't look past the Wolfpack team. They've come back from some games this year against Riverside Brookfield. They trailed. That was at the Team Road Shootout. They came back, took the win in that one. They've had some comeback wins, and they're just a very impressive ball club. So don't expect them to have as many missed shots here in the second half as we saw them have in the first half. It's going to be their starting 5 to start off this quarter number 3. We'll run through those once again. It'll be John Kemp, Phoenix Gill, Richard Barron, Jackson Kotecki, and Reggie Ray. As you mentioned, 10 for Ray, 6 for both Gill and both Gill and Barron here, and 4 from Kotecki. As for the champions, it will be Solibo, Jack Soar, Parker Williams, Jackson Labcon, and Dalton Scantlebury. 17 of those coming from Shahid Salibo, either 17 or 15. I saw one scorebook had 15. The scoreboard has 17, but very good first half for Salibo either way. 6 points from Dalton Scantlebury and 3 from Lorenzo Aquino, who's actually not going to start. Instead, they're going to put Jackson Labcon on the court. So currently just 23 points of scoring and 2 scores on the court for the champions. We'll see what they can do to start off this second half of play as the Wolfpack inbound it, and we are underway here in the third quarter from Lane Gymnasium. Phoenix Gill will get it near the logo and get it to Barron top of the key. We saw kind of 2 different styles of offense from the Wolfpack. They had their transition offense, which was very successful as the 3-ball hit here by Phoenix Gill to move the lead back up to 4 here. But as we were saying, we saw the fast-paced offense, and then we saw some slower-paced offense like what we saw there, working to find the shots for the Wolfpack, and they were able to get some good points out of that in the first half of play. It looks like that might be the strategy they're going for here in the third quarter as Labcon thinks about the 3. Williams is wide open. Closeout defense makes him miss the shot. He gets his own rebound. The floater is up, no good. Scantlebury trying for a third chance. It's Williams who comes down with the basketball. Salibo for another 3, can't get it. And Lane Tech with chance number 4. Scantlebury gets fouled, and the champions will keep possession. So despite being outmatched size-wise, you'd probably say for Lane Tech, they do an excellent job there with, I think, 3 offensive rebounds there. We'll see Kotecki charged with his second foul of the night. Referees moving some of the photographers away from the baseline here. And Jack Soar will take a second to inbound things. 7:02 to go in the third quarter. A 4-point Wolfpack lead. Jack Soar inbounds it directly to Scantlebury. He had 6 first half points, gets blocked on his first shot attempt of half number 2. And John Kemp will slow things down here for the Wolfpack. Just had 1 point, but did a good job facilitating the defense as an excellent 2 there from Jackson Kotecki. He started off quarter number 1 really strong, was kind of quiet for the rest of the half. He didn't score after the first couple of minutes of play, but he's back on the scoreboard here to give his team the 6-point lead. As they get down low to Scantlebury, and Williams will try to work from the outside, drives in, and a foul call. Looks like it might be against Williams here. We'll see who they called on. No, they're going to switch it to Ignatius, so it will be a defensive foul here. That's already the second foul of the half on St. Ignatius, not even about 95 seconds into the half. As they get to Salibo, he drives the baseline, scoops it to Scantlebury, who gets the easy 2 to go. Salibo, after having 15 points in the first half of play, dishes off his 4th assist of the game to get Lane Tech on the scoreboard here in half number 2. Ray driving left-hand side, puts up the 2, and he made that look way too easy. Ray with such an impressive score there. He's up to 12 on the night, and Lane Tech really has not found a way to stop the junior. Williams, the response 3, can't get to go. Kotecki grabs the rebound. Kotecki comes into tonight's game averaging 8 rebounds per game as Barron to the basket, gets the 2 to go. An impressive score there from Richard Barron. He's shown some flashes of that star potential he has. I don't even know if you call it star potential of his star play here tonight. A couple of nice scores. Williams in the paint goes up for 2, and he gets fouled. Foul called against Kemp there, who did not like the call from the referees. And Williams will get a couple of chances to score from the free throw line here. Sean Clavadetcher will check in, the 6'6" senior, giving some more height on the court here for the Wolfpack. Williams gets ready for the first shot and gets it to go. Parker Williams coming off of a team-leading performance on Saturday against West Aurora. He had 14 points to go along with 5 rebounds. A couple weeks ago now, he had 19 against Perspective. He's had some good games. So far, just 3 points, but he can make it 4 with this free throw, and he will. So Lane Tech gets it back down to a 6-point deficit here with 5:20 to go in the third quarter of play. Lane Tech moving into a full court defense. Scantlebury almost with an interception there. Bounces off the big man for Lane Tech's hand, and the Wolfpack will get things back here with 5:16 to go. Ray slowly brings things up the court here. Wolfpack in no rush. They have the lead. They know they can score, so taking a little extra time on their possessions. A three off the rim from Gill there, and now Lane Tech's going to try to push it. Jack Soar had the open three there, loses it. Labcon scoops it up, passes it down low to Scantlebury, who finishes with the interesting looking two. He kind of just tossed that one over the shoulder. An excellent assist there from Jackson Labcon. Some unselfish basketball from the junior for Lane Tech, and it's a 4-point game once again. Barron, and a foul's going to be called against Jack Soar. So they're going to say there was a little too much contact there from the senior captain for Lane, and Ignatius will keep possession here as Clavadetcher gets ready to inbound things from the very corner of the court near the scoring basket for the Wolfpack. Barron pushes it top the key. Looks like Lane may have moved into a zone defense as Barron misses the three, but Kotecki gets it back for a second chance in the corner. An open shot there for Kemp. Instead decides for the reverse layup, and beautiful basketball there from the two sport athletes to get Ignatius to the 40-point mark. They stretch their lead back out to 6 here. 4:10 to go halfway through this quarter number 3 of action. So Lebo, step back three, and some contact there from Barron. Williams tried to pull down the rebound, but it will go right into the hands of Ray. They push it in transition to Kotecki over the fingertips of Scantlebury. He falls to the ground, and a travel is going to be called there. Almost a very nice offensive rebound from Reggie Ray. However, he fell down a little quickly. I don't know if he meant to move his arm there or not, but it will end up as a travel. Lane Tech gets possession back. Labcon trying to get past Phoenix Gill. Probably the hardest player that Labcon has had guard him yet this season. Salibo pushes it out to Williams. Labcon obviously knows the tendencies of a lot of these players, even though he was on junior varsity last year for Ignatius. Some of these players were on junior varsity with him, and now he brings that knowledge into tonight's matchup as Scantlebury tried to hit a cutting Williams. Instead, it's Gill in transition, a monster jam for Phoenix Gill, his second big one of the night, and Lane Tech's going to call a full timeout. And how do you stop that? Phoenix Gill streaks up the court, finishes with the big dunk, and increases the Ignatius lead back up to 8. So Ignatius headed into this third quarter up by just 1. They have increased that to a 8-point lead here with 3:14 to go in the third quarter of action. And what a play there from Gill. Already holds an offer from the University of Illinois. Just a sophomore, has had a great start to the season, and he is up to 13 points to lead his team. He overtakes Ray with that dunk. Those two have combined, the sophomore-junior duo, for 15 points. Excuse me, for 25 points. So while entering this game, we assumed there was going to be Kotecki and Barron leading the offense. Those two have had okay games, 8 and 6 respectively. They've combined for 14, but it's really been Gill and Ray, the two double-digit scorers right now for the Wolfpack, who have been leading the squad as both the teams will break their huddles. 34-42, Lane Tech trails. Thanks for joining us. My name's Alex Burstein. An electric atmosphere here at Lane Gymnasium on this Tuesday night. Lane Tech will return to action next Thursday as they travel to Northside. These two teams built very different looking schedules. Ignatius did not have their first home game until this past Friday. Lane Tech, meanwhile, has not played a true away game yet. Their first away game will come up on Thursday against the Mustangs as Labcon gets stuck in front court trying to pass it out. He finally gets it to Salibo. Almost had a violation there. Instead, Salibo gets to the basket, can't finish with the two. Scantlebury pulls down the rebound and can't find the basket. However, this one will head out of bounds, and the champions will keep possession here. Lane Tech in desperate need of some points. Currently down by 8 as Justin Scott, the 6'5" junior, will check into the game, averaging 4 points, 4 rebounds a game, and a steal per game. As Salibo pulls for 3, hit it and one! I'm not sure where the foul was called there. The referee called it from the other side of the court. I assumed that was going to not count. I thought it was an offensive, and they might call it on the ground here. Originally they said count the basket. The referees are talking things over right now. And the scoreboard moved it to 3. I'm pretty sure this should stay 42-34 as it's not free throws there. So that's what we're going to keep it at right now. As Jack Soar gets ready to inbound it, they give it to Parker Williams. Jack Soar's open in the corner. They did not give it to him. Instead, it's Aquino. Now Williams fakes the 3, and a travel's going to be called. So Ignatius gets the basketball back. Lucky break there after the foul called. The scoreboard's still sitting at 42-37. I'm not sure how that would happen, considering there was no free throws there. However, we will monitor that and change it as appropriate as Clavadetcher gets it in the corner, moves it to Barron. 2.5 to play here. Quarter number 3 of action. Ignatius playing with 3 guys beyond the perimeter. Gill gets inside, passes off to Scott. Fumbled it a little bit there, and a bad pass out of bounds gives Lane Tech back the basketball. 2:17 to go here in quarter number 3. Lane Tech staying in this one. It has mainly been these 5 guys on the court. Add in Jackson Labcon, and those 6 have made up the majority of the minutes here today for the champions. Lane almost had a completely clean injury report. Aris Mulosmani is still out. He's not dressed for a game yet this season. As a jump ball is going to be called, and possession arrow stays with Lane Tech here. Jump ball called just because the referees could not see which way it went. However, it will keep with Lane Tech possession. 2:04 to go here in the third quarter of action. So Lebo dribbles things out, being guarded by Barron here. Gets a screen to his right. Instead, they're going to switch Scott onto him. Now Williams out to Aquino. Under 2 to play. Aquino to the basket, has hit a 3, and now he's hit a 2. Excellent shot there from Lorenzo Aquino, and he's cut this one back to a 6-point game. Phoenix Gill dribbling in the front court, tries to get past Williams. Lane Tech has had a very good defensive effort here tonight. There's obviously been some shots that they just can't defend, but that's just a charge taken by Jack Soar. Ends the possession for the Wolfpack. As we were saying, there's been some shots that you just cannot defend, but Lane as a whole has done a really good job keeping the Ignatius team to only 42 points here. This is the same Ignatius team that really knows how to score the ball. They've scored 72, 79 is actually their high this season. That happened in the first game, but they've done a good job slowing down this potent offense as a screen in the backcourt from Scantlebury leaves Aquino open. Scantlebury for the 3 off the backboard, no good, and Clavadetcher is there with no one to contest for the rebound. 1:06 to go, quarter number 3 of action. This one's getting close as we head to the final 3. Barron, step back 3, around the rim and out. Clavadetcher gets the easy rebound though, and Ignatius breaks a little bit of a scoring drought there with a quick score. Jack Soar will bring things up the court for the champions. 45 seconds and counting to go. We're going to check at the end of this half down at the scores table if it's 44-39 or 44-36. Still not sure what the official call was on that 3 ball, as Salibo's going to hold it in the front court right. 30 seconds to go in the half. Lane's going to hold for a last second shot. Aquino was open though, so he pulls for 3, can't get to go. Scantlebury can't get the rebound. Now Barron in transition, takes it by himself. Euro step, another charge taken by Lane Tech. Crowd goes wild as second charge called against the Wolfpack in less than a minute of play. First it was Jack Soar, then it's Lorenzo Aquino taking it. And some big-time plays here on defense by the champions, keeping them in this one late in the third quarter. 18.7 seconds to go. Aquino will bring things up the court. Aquino, Scantlebury, Jack Sorb, Parker Williams, and Shahid Salibo, your 5 on the court. The normal starting 5 for the champions. Tonight it was Labcon also in the starting lineup as Williams works with 3 seconds, has to get a shot off, goes up for 2, and he gets fouled with 0.6 seconds left. And Williams will head to the line for 3 shots. Excuse me, for 2 shots, 2 free shots. Probably the worst possible thing that Ignatius could have done there, as they're going to give Lane Tech the chance to get within possibly a possession here if Williams hits both of these. There shouldn't be time for a final shot as Williams gets the first one to go. He's 3 for 3 so far today from the line. Went 2 for 2 on a previous trip. Hadn't been that many free throws in today's game so far. The second shot is up and good. And Ignatius will fire off one final shot. That one's off the mark. And that will bring us to the end of 3 quarters of play. We'll be back in just a second. Don't go anywhere. It's Lane Tech trailing Ignatius 44-38 as we enter the final frame of play here from Lane Gymnasium. Number 4 we go, 44-41. It's a 3-point game here from Lane Gymnasium, and that was a chain score from what we just had at the end of the break. We did get some confirmation. An earlier 3 that Lane Tech made and then inbounded after a foul was called. They ruled it as a simultaneous foul, so they said Jack Sur made this shot as another foul happened at the same time, so Lane Tech ended up getting the 3 and possession. So that is where things stand. A 3-point game as we enter quarter number 4 of action here from Lane Gymnasium. It'll be Wolfpack basketball going from left to right across your screen. On the court right now for the champions, Salibo, Aquino, Scantlebury, Williams, and Jack Soar. It'll be Justin Scott, Clavedetcher, Gill, Kemp, and we're missing one guy. Oh, that's Baron Sane in the corner for the Wolfpack. 8 minutes to decide this one. Only 1 foul in that quarter from the champions. 7 from St. Ignatius. So Lane Tech has worked their way into the bonus, and an off-ball foul called there by Lorenzo Aquino. Lane wanted a travel called there on Clavedetcher. They won't get it, but Ignatius will inbound it instead of having the easy look at the basket. Thanks for joining us. Alex Burstein on the call. Should be a fun finish here from Lane Gymnasium as they get the ball to Scott. He goes up for 2 and gets fouled, so it'll be Justin Scott headed towards the free throw line. 6'5" junior, as we mentioned, averaging 4 points per game. The number 3 junior in America for all football, regardless of position. He's got offers from Texas, Alabama, Ohio State, Auburn. Big on the football field, but he's also had some nice contributions here today for the Wolfpack on the basketball court. Provides a very big body, some good screens, and he will airball the first free throw, to which the Lane Tech student section responds wildly to. Lane's had a really good home court advantage here tonight, as the second shot missed as well. Jack Soar pulls down the rebound, and Lane Tech will get it back, still trailing just by 3 here with 7:46 to go in the contest. Keno gets it to Salibo. He loses the basketball. This one goes straight into the hands of Gill, and the Wolfpack get it back. We saw Lane Tech have a really good fourth quarter as a strip here from Scantlebury. Aquino with no one behind him. He goes up, and a goaltending called here against Justin Scott. Came out of nowhere there for the block. However, he was a little too late, and Lane will get the points. Jack Stewart tying his shoe quickly, and they'll have Klavidetcher inbound things here for the Wolfpack, or they were before they check him out of the game. Reggie Ray, who surprisingly was on the bench to start off the quarter, will now check in 34 seconds later. 44-43, Lane Tech in a full court press. Williams guarding Barron here. They break you with ease. They get to Scott, and now they'll reset the offense from Barron. Barron for the long two, drains it with ease. An excellent shot there from Richard Barron. He really has limitless range. He's quite impressive player. He'll be a big part of the George Mason squad next year. But first, trying to get some big accolades this year as Scantlebury gets fouled while trying to score, and back to the free throw line he will go. It's going to be team foul number 8 here on the Wolfpack. They're getting close to playing Lane Tech into the double bonus. Look at possible foul trouble, not too much, but Kemp is at 3 fouls as well as Barron. Both of those have 3 fouls. That foul was called on Justin Scott, who is wearing number 32 instead of number 34 here tonight. Scantlebury drains the first shot with ease. It really has, per usual, been Salibo and Scantlebury who have kept Lane Tech into this one. They have combined for 31 of Lane Tech's 44 points, 20 of those from Salibo, 11 of them from Scantlebury, as he misses the second free throw, and the Wolfpack will get it back up by 2 here. 6:51 to go in quarter number 4. Both the teams seem to have kind of slowed down their offenses. We saw that breakaway score by Aquino, but other than that, as Barron pulls for 2 and gets it to go after getting Aquino on the ground there. That's the thing about Barron. He kind of has the build of a forward, but he has the handles and the shooting of a guard. And that's what just makes him so impressive as they get it down low to Scantlebury. He goes up, misses the 2, and Kotecki brings down the rebound. Kotecki just 2 points in this second half, but pulls down another key rebound. He's been averaging 8 of those a game here for the Wolfpack as Kemp down low, and they're going to call a foul there on Scantlebury. It looked like he went up cleanly there with 2 arms. However, the referees will not hear it, and Kemp will head to the line and look to move this past a 4-point lead right now for his Ignatius squad. So after Lane Tech had just 1 foul in the first 8 minutes of this half, in the last 2 minutes they have had 3. As first shot missed from Kemp. Some free throw struggles here in the third. Ignatius 0 for 3 from the line. We'll see if Kemp can break that streak here on free throw number 2. And he won't. Kotecki grabs the rebound, fighting for it, goes up for 2, misses it, and that will go off the hands there of Reggie Ray. Both him and Scantlebury were fighting for it, but the last touch goes off the hands of Ray, and Lane Tech will get possession back, looking to cut this back to a 1-possession game, 48-44, under 6 to play in quarter number 4. Thanks for joining us. Alex Burston on the call. Been a fun one so far from Lane Tech as Aquino to the basket. Scantlebury wide open, misses the layup. Lane Tech with an excellent chance there to move it to a 2-point game, and a jump ball is going to be called. Lane Tech wanted to call timeout there. Possession arrow is going to point towards the champion, so Lane will get it back. Scantlebury had a really good chance to put this one at a 2-point game, missed it, but Lane Tech gets bailed out with a jump ball, and a timeout's going to be called by head coach Nick Lagalbo. That it should be his 3rd of the game, waiting to see if it's a 30-second or a full timeout. It will be 30 seconds, so head coach Nick Lagalbo has had plenty of these situations in his 15 years as head coach, but everyone means the same much, and it would be very meaningful for this team to get a win over the 9th-ranked St. Ignatius Wolfpack. This team down by just 4 with 5:41 to go here in quarter number 4. Lane Tech is in the bonus, 8 fouls against the Wolfpack. Lane Tech with 2 fouls to give. They just have 4 here in the second half. Shahid Salido and Dalton Scantlebury combining for 31 points. Meanwhile, on the Wolfpack side of things, Reggie Ray, Phoenix Gill, and Richard Barron have combined for 37 of the 48 that St. Ignatius has scored here. As Lane will break their huddle here, 5:41 to go in this one. Would not be surprised if this one goes into overtime, so we'll say 5:41 of regulation. Sellout crowd here at Lane Tech. This is game number 1 of a varsity boys-girls doubleheader as Jack Soar inbounds it to Aquino. We have not seen any subs yet this quarter for the champions, and we didn't see subs at all near the end of the third quarter as well, as Salibo to the basket, pushes it out to Scantlebury, instead straight into the hands of Barron. Barron's on a hot streak. He has 4 straight for his team. They'll give it to Gill for 3. He's been hot and hits it. A perfect shot there from Phoenix Gill. Extends his team lead up to 7. And it's crazy. We've had a couple of threes here tonight from Ignatius that have just totally changed the momentum. That feels like one of them. Salibo to the basket. Finishes with the easy 2. Ignatius kind of decided to back off of defense at the end of that drive to avoid the foul. They knew Salibo would probably make his free throws if he got fouled, so they end up just letting him get the 2. 5-point game now, 4:50 to go. Barron being guarded by Salibo. An excellent matchup between 2 future D1 players as a foul called on the ground. That will be Salibo's first foul of the night, 5th of the half against the champions. Salibo fouled out of the last home game here at Lane Tech in overtime against Farragut. Lane blew an 11-point lead in that one. Ended up falling by 7 in overtime to the Admirals. As Salibo grabs this one, uses ballerina toes there to stay in bounds, and he'll bring it up the court, trailing by just 5 here, 4:30 to go. Lane Tech has 2 timeouts. Ignatius has only used 1, so they have 4 for this close end of game. Aquino to the basket, almost finished with an excellent 2 there. Head coach Nick Lagalbo does not look especially happy with that rush shot from his offense. And now we'll see if the champions can get a stop here. About halfway through this final quarter of play. Barron for a big 3, hits it. What a shot there from the senior for the Wolfpack. He extends the lead out to 8 here. And that's what we're saying. There's been some shots tonight that Lane Tech has guarded closely, but just seem to always go in. Barron's has been one of them, but Aquino with the response 3. He's up to 10 points on the night, hits double digits, averaging over 7 points a game. He's had a couple of big games early in the season, quiet the last couple of weeks. Did not start today, but has been a big contribution for Lane Tech off the bench. They give it down low to Kateki. 54-49, 3:20 to play here from Lane Gymnasium. Barron, who's been scoring everything, goes up for 2 and hits it. And right now it seems like it's Richard Barron versus the Lane Tech champions. He's been doing everything offensively for the Wolfpack. Lane looking to respond once again. We saw that big response from Aquino. He's open again, but Salibo keeps it himself. Trying to find an open lane. They give it to Scantlebury. The pass just a little short there and tipped away by Kotecki. Barron drives again. Open lane, gets the 2 to go. That left hand finish just so lethal for Richard Barron here tonight. He's had 4 or 5 shots like that. He's up to 19 on the point to lead his team. 19 on the night, I should say, to lead his team. And he has the Wolfpack lead at 9. Response 3, no good there from Williams. 2.5 to play. Lane Tech running out of time here to make a dent into this deficit. And with no shot clock, St. Ignatius is going to start to take their time. Lane Tech does have 1 foul to give. Possession arrow points towards St. Ignatius. And this is something we've seen. Lane Tech has had close games against good opponents. Closing the door on wins, though, has been a struggle as a foul called on Jack Soar as Gill heads to the basket. And now he will head to the free throw line and look to move this to a double-digit lead for what I want to say is the first time tonight. I don't think we've seen a lead by 10 or more by Ignatius here this evening. But in the 30th minute of play, Phoenix Gill, the son of basketball legend Kendall Gill, looking to do that as he hits the first shot to move Ignatius up to a 10-point lead. Talking with head coach Matt Monroe before the game, he said, last year you would have had players like Gill and Ray on varsity level, but they were just so strong at the varsity level that they split time between JV and varsity. Now that those two players have been able to give their full attention to varsity, it's been so helpful for this Ignatius team as Williams fires up a quick two, moves it to an 8-point game. So Lane Tech not quite out of this one, 59 to 51, 1:45 to go. Almost a steal there by Williams, but a nice move by Gill to get Williams past him. Barron tries for the three. He finally misses a shot. However, Scantlebury hits this one off of the backboard. It's like Scantlebury not super happy with the defense of a couple of his teammates there. And Ignatius will inbound it. 1:36 on the clock, 59-51. They inbound it to Kotecki, who just uses his arms to get around Dalton Scantlebury. And when you have a wingspan like that, might as well use it to your advantage. Kotecki now up to 8 points on the night, and they've been an important 8 points. Aquino thinks about the three, goes for it, can't get it to go. Barron brings down the rebound. 1:17 to go, double-digit lead for the Wolfpack. Nail in the coffin shot from Gill, no good. Scantlebury brings down the rebound. They try to push it to Williams. Instead, it's a steal by Kemp. Kemp to Barron. Barron goes with the layup. Looked like for a second there he was going to jam that one down for a dunk, and instead it will just be a normal two, but that does extend the lead to 12 points, 63-51 with 1:01 to go, so 61 seconds left to play in tonight's matchup. Lane Tech done a good job for most of this quarter to stay in this one, but some late shooting, much in part due to Richard Barron's heroics, have almost helped seal this one for the Wolfpack. 21 points from Barron, 17 from Phoenix Gill. That is a 38-point total. And if you add the 12 from Reggie Ray, who's been kind of quiet this second half, but was a big part of establishing an early lead for this Wolfpack squad. That is 50 of the 63 points tonight for St. Ignatius, coming from just 3 players. As we'll see if the Wolfpack can close this one out. 63-51, Lane Tech possession. They're going to need some quick scoring here, trailing by 12. Salibo on ball handling duties. No substitutions this entire quarter for Lane Tech. Salibo goes to the basket, gets fouled. We'll see if they call the shooting foul or not. His intention there was to pass to Scantlebury. Oh, but it's bonus, so it won't matter. So instead it's going to be 1-and-1 for Shahid Salibo. That took about 10 seconds off the clock, so 52.8 seconds now. Salibo, if he makes both of these, can move it to a 10-point deficit. Salibo's been off and on free throw shooter this year. His first shot is up and almost a little too far there, but gets the lucky break from the back rim, and that one falls in. Following this one, it'll be New Trier and Lane Tech in some girls basketball non-conference action as Saliba goes 2 for 2 from the line. That one will be up on a separate stream here on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel as Kotecki loses it. Aquino gets it back. Wide open is Salibo. Him versus Barron. That's been the storyline here today. And Salibo decides to bring it out. Lane with 10 points needed in 40 seconds. Salibo can't hit the three. Scantlebury goes up for 2 and gets fouled. 34.1 seconds left. Lane's been scoring, but has not been at a particularly quick pace. So even if Scantlebury hits these, Lane's going to need at least 8 points in 34.1 seconds, and that's assuming no points scored by the Wolfpack. So a tall task for a possible comeback here for the champions, but they're not quite out of this one. As first shot is no good off the back of the rim here from Scantlebury. Seen a couple of games Lane Tech has played in this year get spoiled due to rough shooting at the free throw line late. Scantlebury redeems himself, making the second one, and Lane's going to need 3 threes to tie this one up. Excellent double team. They throw it to Kemp, who's just standing there on the other side of the court. Kotecki being guarded by Scantlebury, trying not to foul, but Kotecki gets the quick 2. 23 seconds and counting. So Lebo pushing the pace for the champions. They trail by 11. He pulls for 3, gets fouled on the three-point shot, and a technical called against Richard Barron. He said something to the referee while walking back to the bench after that foul. I think that was his 5th anyway, so Barron fouls out of the game. And actually, I didn't realize this. This means it's going to be 5 free throws, I want to say, plus possession for the champions. So Lebo's going to have a lot of time here at the line. First shot is up and no good. It's kind of a repeat in opposite fashion for Lane Tech against Farragut in the last home game last Wednesday. So Lebo had a technical in overtime, led to 4 free throws for the Admirals, and it ended up basically clinching the game. Now Lane Tech with a chance to get a little bit closer here as Lebo makes the second and third shot. He has 2 more. If he makes them, it will be a 7-point game, and Lane Tech will have possession. That first miss definitely helped, as it means it's going to be a 3-possession game instead of a 2. Misses the 4th shot, and we'll have 1 more here. And he drains it, so 3 for 5 on 5 free throw attempts here for Shahid Solibo. Lane Tech's going to call timeout. Their second to last timeout of the night. They're just going to have 1 left. Still 3 timeouts left for the Wolfpack. However, I don't think they plan on using those. They want to see this clock keep on moving, not stop. 17.6 seconds left. A 65-57 lead for the St. Ignatius Wolfpack, who have done a good job late in this contest. Mainly Richard Barron has been the star. 21 points for him. Second in the game behind 25 or 27 from Shahid Solibo. Leads his team. It's been him and Gil who have really come alive in this second half to get this lead for the Wolfpack. And you can see why this Ignatius team is ranked so highly, currently ranked number 9 by the Sun-Times, which to me probably the best rankings out there. And you can just see the skill level this team has. It shows why they are 9-1. They're hoping about to be 10-1, and one of the favorites in 3A about over a month into this 2022-23 campaign. As I mentioned, next up for them, they'll be heading to the Jack Tosh tournament. They open against Manuka, and if they win that one, they'll be facing off either against Naperville North or Glenbard West. As they get it to Aquino, he has a chance for a quick 3 and misses it, and that might be it. Lane's going to have to foul here. Quick foul for Solibo. That will be team foul number 7, and Ignatius will head to the line. Getting fouled there was number 5, Owen Kyle. Kyle plays on the Illinois Jaguars for AAU. I believe the same team as Giuliano DeFranco, one of Lane Tech's players who we have not seen play tonight, but a little Ignatius Lane connection there as he misses the first of a 1-and-1. Lane's going to need some quick scoring here. Aquino in the corner, pulls for 3, gets it to go. 6 seconds left. Lane calls timeout. The clock ticked for another 2 seconds or so there. Still a 5-point game, 4.5 seconds left. Not much Lane Tech could do in this situation to score a quick 2. They're going to need to foul, but even advancing the ball up the court 2 times in that span, not very likely, but a nice 3 there by Lorenzo Aquino to get him to 13 points and to get the champions within 5 here. 4.5 seconds to go in this one. even in what's likely to be a losing effort. Good try here from Lane Tech. They've had some struggles. They are going to lose their 4th straight, but the best performance in a while here out, Shahid Salibo, is actually up to a career high. His career high entry tonight was 24. He's got either 25 or 27 here tonight. Either one would be a career high. So Salibo with a career night, but looking like it's just not going to be enough to get past this St. Ignatius Wolfpack squad on this Tuesday night. 6:20 local time. We got this one started on time. It's been a fun matchup. Has had its fast moments, has had its slow moments, has had its electrifying plays, and now Ignatius trying to close this one out. 3 seconds left. There's no foul called, interestingly, and that will bring us to the end of this one. Ignatius led by just 1 at the half. They pull away in the 4th quarter thanks to a 21-point performance from Richard Barron to go along with 17 from Phoenix Gill and 12 from Reggie Ray as the Wolfpack defeat Lane Tech 65-60. They advance to 10-1 on the year. Double-digit scoring from Dalton Scantlebury and Shahid Salibo, 25 or 27 on the night from Salibo, who improves on his impressive start to the year. He came into tonight averaging 13.9 a game. That's going to go up, but it's just not enough as the champions fall to the 9th-ranked St. Ignatius Wolfpack, 65-60. As we mentioned, Lane Tech will be back in action on Thursday at Northside. First true road game of the year for champions. Knock on wood, there's obviously a lot of snow. We hope everyone stays warm here watching our stream, and we hope to have a game on Thursday. As of now, it's still on. We will see, but if Lane Tech returns to action this 2022 calendar year, it will be on Thursday. Meanwhile, and we will have the call for that one starting at 4:55 p.m. Chicago time. As for St. Ignatius, they head off to holiday tournament next, the 26th. That's next Monday, I want to say, against Manuka. 8:30 a.m., bright and early for the Wolfpack as they look to start off the Jack Tosh tournament with a win. Impressive performances from Shahid Salibo, but it's not enough to get past Richard Barron and co. here on a chilly Tuesday night in Roscoe Village. A great fan turnout, a very fun game, and Ignatius gets that number 10 win on the year, just 11 games into this 2022-23 season. Your final score from Lane Gymnasium: the St. Ignatius Wolfpack 65, Lane Tech champions 60. My name's Alex Burstein. Good night.